Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and I'm here with Chandra with Aran and Franklin, and we're going to touch on something today because Chandra, you and I were talking, and a lot of people are adding different amenities. They're going in. We've been through Ike now. The houses, some of them are getting remodeled or upgraded, and a lot of people are putting in different things uh, due to lifestyle change. Maybe they've got it in the rental pool, but weight on your floor. You and I were just talking about someone wanting to put in an aquarium or a wine rack, and say the wine rack is 16 inches wide by, or 12 inches wide by a foot deep, but it's from floor to ceiling. Now you have some weight on that.
That's right.
And depending on where that fell on the floor, that could actually fall in between your floor joists.
That's
So
right.
the only thing holding that up is a piece of 3/4 inch or 1 inch or inch and a quarter, depending on when the house was built, sheathing or plywood or decking.
That's right.
That's not enough
No,
when
it's
you're
absolutely.
concentrating that weight in
It's
that
probably not
area.
even if it's probably not even enough if you had one floor joist underneath it,
Right.
So and that's one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of people are wanting to make improvements. They're wanting to, upgrade their house. They're wanting to put in stuff for their kids, like maybe a pool table or something. They want to upgrade their bathroom and put in a new, cast iron tub, or they want to add a wine rack that's going to be floor to ceiling.
Well,
That takes up, less space, footprint space, but it concentrates a lot of load in one area. Same with fish tanks. You don't think about it, but fish tank is a big block of water. And we had a client that did like a floor to ceiling fish tank, and it's like we have to design this whole floor system. And typically in Bolivar, we do kind of the minimum requirements for windstorm, but when you start getting into things like that where you're adding in higher loads outside of just the normal floor loading, you really need to let somebody really look at that, because you don't want to have a structural failure or poor performance over time. It's really important that those things are well supported so that it serves its purpose and it's safe for everyone.
Well, the other thing people are doing down here, and it's the easiest thing to get in some kind of pool or something, is they're putting hot tubs on their deck.
Yeah.
And that's nice because you don't have to go downstairs to enjoy it. But decks typically aren't made for that weight.
They are not.
I've seen a few where they put hot tub and it's like 3 or 4 times the joists underneath than you typically, or it goes from a 2x12 to a 4 or 6x12, depending on how it's laid out. And so, but all that can be done.
Absolutely.
You just have to know about it,
That's right.
And you brought up something a while ago. If you're going to add on something, and say you're putting in a hot tub, but you want it ground level, you may want to think about a detached deck, because that joist for that is going to be lower. And if you attach that to your existing house and deck, then your insurance is going to change, because your
lowest horizontal member is going to be
lowest
lower.
horizontal member changes, and 3 foot down here is a whole lot of difference.
It is.
As to where you just build it and it's detachable, then it changes a lot, and your insurance on your home's not going to change. It may not be insurable, but you don't have to worry about the added money from insurance.
That's right. That's one of the things that we've been recommending to people. If they're going to put in a pool or a hot tub and they want it flush with their deck surface, which is very desirable. People really like that. But you don't want to have that attached to your house, because to recess it where the top of that is flush or pretty close to flush with the deck surface, you've got to put a stringer system lower to support the bottom of that pool or hot tub. And so then you don't want that to be the thing that dictates your lowest horizontal member for your house. So if you have a detached, completely separate framed deck that is independent of the main structure, you can treat those like two separate structures, and then that doesn't feed into your insurance requirements for your house. So it's a small distinct change, and it's not really considered an addition. It's considered a freestanding structure.
Okay.
So then you don't have to worry about it impacting
Right.
your premiums ongoing.
Yeah, because
But you can still get above flood. You're still above flood elevation, you know, but you're probably barely above flood
Yeah.
elevation. And so that's really, you know, instead of your whole house being rated at maybe 1 foot above flood elevation, it's still like at 4 or 5 feet above flood
Right.
elevation, which is going to be a much
where
favorable
you're going to get a lot better rate.
Yeah.
If people are wanting to add this on after the home is built, or they want to add something inside, you can go in and look at their plans and say, okay, you need to do this. And a lot of it, if it's on the first floor, even if they have flooring underneath the house or soffit, a lot of times you can pull that down, make the adjustments.
Absolutely.
A contractor can, and then you're good to go. It's not like you're having to tear out sheetrock and put
usually we try to do it as minimally invasive as possible. A lot of times you can just pop the soffit, infill what you need to do, brace what you need to brace, and then you're good. You know, typically what we would see is under a hot, and it depends on the span and how big of a hot tub or pool we're talking about, but typically we would see a double or triple upper joist underneath that area. But the other thing is you've got the stringers would have to maybe be upgraded a little bit too, because they're taking a lot more weight from that area concentrated on the stringers. So those two things can be managed underneath. If it's something that's higher up, like say a pool table on a second level, we would have to get a little bit more creative. Maybe it's better to pull the floor up than it is to pull the ceilings down. So, you know, we can work with it, but
okay. Well, if you're interested in doing some upgrades, and remember, any kind of upgrade to the structure of your house, you really need to get an engineering company involved with it, like Aran Franklin, and make sure you get with your insurance company, because you don't want to do these upgrades and then something happened and they say, oh, well, the insurance company say you never notified us, and so that's not covered. So, but to get hold of Aran Franklin, the best way to get hold of them is on their website at aranfranklin.com. Fill out the form, and that way they can track the correspondence and you can track the correspondence on everything you're doing with them. So, Chandra, thanks for joining us today. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.
Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.